welcome everyone. This is Ricardo Suber. Hopefully everybody can hear me clearly. And what I'm going to ask for everybody to do during this broadcast, definitely send me texts because I have my phone right in front of me. We're also broadcasting the audio, and I want this to be as interactive as possible. So what I'm going to ask is for everybody in our group me to go ahead and communicate with me. If my audio cuts out, definitely let me know. And all that being said, we are going to start shortly. I just wanted to make sure I was on early and try to set an example because a lot of times when we've done this in the past, it really won't be as smooth. So we're getting ready, guys. I hope you guys are excited. We have a lot of great information we're going to be sharing with you. So get ready. All right, let me go ahead and check our broadcast, make sure our audio is coming in good. All right, looks like we're good there. So we're just going to keep this thing rocking and rolling. All right, one moment. Making sure our slides pop up, all that's looking good. All right, so I want to welcome everybody who's tuning in and make sure your teams are on. And once again, to go ahead and communicate with me, the best thing to do is to go ahead and either text me directly or put it in our TeamEPIC group me. Okay, that's the best way to communicate with me directly because then I'll see it instantly. I'll see it on my phone. If you guys have any questions, etc. And then also make sure you send the text out to your teams. All right. You want to make sure you get this information out to your teams. It's going to be very important information that we're going to be going over. And so we're going to get started right about now. I want to make sure we're getting started on time. All right. One moment, guys. I want to say hello to everyone. Welcome. Happy Sunday. God bless. Hope everybody is doing well. We are going to get started shortly. Let's see. One moment, guys. All right, ladies and gents, we're going to go ahead and get started right now. I know I said that a couple of times. As a matter of fact, give me one quick moment. One moment, guys. All right, ladies and gents. Now, if you guys can hear me, just put a quick message in our team group me, just saying, hey, I can hear you fine on the webinar. That way I'll know. I do see the little audio thing. Looks like I am coming in clear, but I'm not 100% sure. So just let me know if my audio sounds good. And in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and looks like our text went out, so that's fine. Let me make sure it's in the group me. And again, if you guys can hear me in the group me, go ahead and put it in there. Now, here's something to also note that the video is a little bit delayed. So if you ask me a question in the group me, which is what I want you to do, make sure that you understand that the video is a little bit behind. So I'll get that a little bit later on. So let me go ahead and put this in the group me and we are going to get started. So make sure your teams are on, guys. Go ahead and send like a reminder text to your team. Make sure they are on as well. And let me go ahead and make sure our audio bridge is open. One moment. 1 second, guys. Making sure everything is going smooth. 1 second. And I'm putting my phone through a lot. We got a lot of texts out there. Okay, excellent. Thank you so much, Mr. Agrisanis, for letting me know I could be seen and I could be heard. Very, very important, guys. I know a lot of times, and I say this a lot, but I know a lot of times it seems like I'm dictating a lot, but I really appreciate the participation because, we're a team. I'm not your leader per se. I mean, we're all a team. So thank you very, very much. And Clarissa, I see you. All right, one moment, guys. One moment. One moment. One moment, guys. Having issues getting onto our conference. One moment. Awesome. So we are also on the audio bridge for everybody who needs to listen in. All right. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now officially started. I apologize for the delay, but it is like right now, 5 past the hour. As you could see, I'm wearing my 5 link shirt. And I hope everybody's doing well. So, the spirit in this particular training is to make sure that we all understand the fundamentals of really building this business the right way. As you guys already know, of course, I'm National Director Ricardo Suber. And what we're going to be going over are just some fundamentals, but also hopefully some things that you guys will pick up and take away from and actually apply it to your businesses to actually help you guys get to the next level. So once again, make sure your team is on. And we're going to go ahead and get started right about now. So the first thing that I actually wanted to go through is to quickly review how we would actually present this information. It's very, very important that we understand the fundamentals of presenting the 5 links business. So what I want to do, and hopefully that is coming in clear. Let me double check something. Yep, that is coming in nice. So what I actually want to do, and I think, can I present this to everybody? You are screen sharing and presenting to everyone. Okay, excellent. All right, so what I want to actually do is go ahead. Oh, okay, I'm screen sharing. I don't want to screen share. I'll do it that way. Let's see, guys. Still learning. Here we go. All right. So what I want to do is just quickly go through how you would actually present 5 links. If you're standing in front of a room, I want to congratulate Mr. Kevin Smith and also LaShawna Manigault, who have not only presented in their homes, but they've actually presented in front of an audience. So I want to just quickly run through how you would actually present the information and really understanding what we do in 5 links. I know some of us on this line are new. So for those of you who are brand new to this business, I want you to understand just kind of how the presentation flows. So as you see right in the beginning, you start off with the slide. Now, usually before you actually do a home briefing, which we'll go through in a little bit, you of course want to introduce yourself and get into why you got started in the business. And then you want to kind of review the ground rules. So let people know that, please hold all questions to the end. Also, if they have to use the restroom, let them know where the restroom is. And then last but not least, what was it? Questions, restroom. Oh, and also silence your cell phones because, of course, everybody has their phone. And so one great way to do it is to ask everybody to take out their phone. And then once they take it out, say, okay, great. Please put them on silent or vibrate. See, once you ask people to take them out, then they're more likely to do it. If you just ask them to put it on vibrate without asking them to take out the phone, chances are someone's phone's going to go off. Okay. So, that being said, now, in our first slide of the presentation, what typically what typically happens is we go through the company history. Okay, we go through, the company was founded in 2001. These are the three co-founders. So you could almost literally read off the slide. You don't have to go too much more into detail. You don't necessarily have to do your research. Basically, what I'll usually do is I'll say, hey, the 5 and 5 link stands for vision, integrity, opportunity, freedom, and success. Let them know when the company was founded, that the co-founders have 30 plus years of experience combined, and then just going through the rest of the bullet points. Okay. Same thing on the next slide. The next slide going through um, basically the marketplace. You have the direct sales industry worldwide is $182 billion. Most people aren't familiar with that, but they know about the NFL, the movie, and the music industry. So letting them know that direct sales is just bigger than the other three is huge. Okay. Next slide simply just goes into why 5 links. Well, the reason why a lot of people do this business is for a lot of these reasons that you see right here. People have no time. People feel like they're in debt. They're overworked, underpaid, or are simply trying to, survive in a tough economy. So this could just be your plan B. See what I'm doing? I'm just kind of going through each bullet point. Okay. Third one, you have the traditional business model versus working 40 hours for 40 years. And this is what most people typically attribute. They're like, okay, well, I can work 40 hours a week for 40 years, but usually this is the result, which is not really having enough. All right. And then usually when you talk to people, most people exist either in the white or blue collar category with little chance of making it to the CEO level. The difference is with 5 links. Now, with 5 links, you actually have the opportunity to make it as the CEO and actually use a lot of your connections, many of which you'll find through social media, but we're all connected. So let's just say you only know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. Those 7 could branch off into dozens, hundreds, thousands, or tens of thousands, like we talk about. So that's the whole idea, and that's what you can get into when you're sharing this information. The next slide goes into all the industries that we're in. This is very simple. You just break it down. You're like, okay, well, the mobile marketing industry by itself is 14 billion, coffee's 81 billion, cable and paid TV's 280. We have 571 for health and wellness. Health insurance is huge, almost $1 trillion, and energy is definitely $1 trillion industry. This is what 5 links is in. And usually at this slide, I'll tell people, look, this is one of the reasons why I got started because it is so powerful. Okay. So, that being said, the next slide, we just talk about our 3 divisions. Now, I typically won't list each and every one. I won't talk about each and every one, but I'll just say, look, our home industry includes things like Turvy, which is coming soon. It's going to be great. Platinum Discount Network, and all these other services that you use out of your home, including internet, TV. Business includes helping people save on the credit card processing, energy, and so much more. And then wellness, we have products that will actually enhance your wellness, including a very delicious coffee. Then I'll let them know, look, in our wellness division, we have Montevita coffee, and then we also have our High Five Edge. Now, if you're actually in front of people, let me actually bring the screen back to me. If you're actually in front of people, okay, and this is what I like to do. Now, if you are on our phone line, you probably can't see me, or I know you can't see me, but if you're watching me live, I have a bottle of water, right? And I'm a very, very simple guy, and I strongly believe that you want to keep it simple for your prospects. So here's what I normally do personally, okay? I'm not super fancy, but I keep it very, very simple, okay? So usually, this is what I do in the morning, literally, okay? I'll take water, I'll drink some, right? So for those of you guys listening, I'm drinking some water out of a bottle, right? Okay, so I drank some water and I have a packet of lean. Literally every morning. And this is why you definitely want to have your Smart Builder kit. I was checking our back office statistics to see how many of us were actually on the Smart Builder subscription. Not enough. More of us need to have our own products, which I'll get more into why in a minute. But even while you're presenting, usually when you get to this area, you can let people know, like, look, we have a delicious protein shake. It's very, very simple. You could just take some water, some of the high five lean, pour it into the water, okay? And this is nothing fancy. This is nothing that you would see in your standard chemistry class, but it's very, very simple, okay? And so literally I'm pouring in some lean. Okay, now once I'm done pouring it in, what do you think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna shake it. Lean is very, very easy to make. It tastes great, has a, I like to call it a birthday cake flavor. Sorry for the camera shaking, guys. And look, it's nice and it's delicious. So guys, look, it's very, very simple. Hold on. It's very, very simple, very, very easy to make, okay? So that being said, that's how I'll usually demonstrate it, and that's how I take my own lean. And so, anyway, that was just kind of like my excuse to drink some lean on air. Okay. So, all right. So, that being said, guys, again, we're kind of just talking about how you would present this information. Keep it really, really simple, and you can literally just go through the slides. So, again, we're right. Just kind of getting into our products. We talk about Montevita. Typically during a presentation, you want to have some Montevita, some samples, and preferably some coffee brewing. Okay. And then you could talk about the High Five Edge. Okay, you could talk about the fact that it promotes anti-aging, aids in weight management, increases endurance, and it helps with cardiovascular health. Okay, and then we talk about our challenge, the fact that we have over $110,000 or over $100,000 in cash prizes for the winner of our challenge. So for those who are trying to get a little bit healthier, this is a way to actually do it and also make some money in the process. So that's pretty much the first part of the presentation. The second part of the presentation gets into wealth, actually having or actually having a way to actually increase what's in our bank account. Okay, so we help people save money and we help people make money. Give me one quick second, guys. Okay, guys, sorry about the interruption. Okay, so we do two things as you see here, and it's very, very simple. We help people save money and we help people make money. And so, what we're going to go through throughout this entire training, guys, is how we can help you and help everybody that you know save money. And when they save money, they become customers. And we're also going to show you guys in detail how to make money in this business. Okay? How do you make money? So, we're going to go through that. And that's what you teach people when you're going through these slides. So, that being said, when we get customers, understand that you earn 10 to 20% commission on all product sales. So, for instance, if you have $500 in sales, your 20% gives you $100, and that comes in every single month as people pay their bills. Guys, this income continues to flow in and it continues to increase as long as you are actively and correctly building your businesses. I can attest to this that this is true residual income, comes in every month. So, one thing that's in the presentation that's next is just showing people and telling people, look, if you as a representative get five customers, all right, you actually get your service for free. And this also includes your customers as well. So if you bring in a customer and your customer has 5 referrals, they get their product for free. And so, for instance, my sister in Long Beach, she actually is a customer on our High Five Fuel product. I let her know, look, if you can refer 5 other people, then you get your auto ship subscription for free. This is awesome, and this is a great way to increase your own income because for every customer you get, let them know they don't even have to sign into 5 links. If they don't want to build a team, that's fine. If they could just refer 5 people, not only will it help you, but they'll get theirs for free. Okay? And so, another great example, just to show people, a lot of people ask me, well, how can you really start to earn some life changing income? I'll say, well, look, understand that if you can personally get $5,000 in sales, all right, that can yield $1,000 per month in residual income. Not only that, but we have people like myself and Mr. Kevin Smith in the 100 Customer Club. That's $500 per month that you get an ongoing residual income. Okay. So, that being said, the company is not only going to allow you to earn that residual income, but you get an additional monthly dividend paid by the company just for having and for being in these customer clubs. Also, during the presentation, this slide usually scares a lot of people, but just help people understand like, look, you have 20 people on your team. If they average 50 customers each, all right, look like I got disconnected from our audio bridge. Give me one quick moment, guys, while I get back onto my audio. One moment, guys. Technical things do happen, ladies and gents. Give me one moment, ladies and gents. I think my phone was trying to do an update at the same time. So here we go. Give me one moment, ladies and gents. And once again, for all of those who are just tuning in, we are just simply going through the presentation just to make sure everybody understands how to present effectively and very simply. One moment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back on our audio bridge. One moment. All right, looks like we may have lost our audio bridge. Give me one moment, guys. Let me try one more time. One moment. This is going to be my last attempt. If we can't get on our audio bridge, then we're going to have to dump it for now. One moment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to apologize. I know we had some issues with our audio bridge, but we're now back in. I'm not too sure what happened, but I think we're back and we're ready to go. So, for all of those who are just on the audio line, I apologize for cutting out. Just a technical difficulty. If you're continuing to join in through our webinar, which is preferred, I will continue now. So, that being said, guys, when we're usually on this particular slide, we just let people know that depending on the size of your team, that can exponentially grow your income because we are a customer acquisition company. So if you have a few people on your team, no matter how many points that they're personally acquiring, you can exponentially grow your income. That's why typically, if you have the larger team, you do have the larger income. Okay. So now, just helping each of us understand the the building blocks of this business. When you personally earn 15 customer points and you share this with two other individuals, not only will you earn a $200 upfront quick start bonus, but currently with our promotions, this will yield an extra $100 per month until you reach $1,000. And that's awesome. So that's a $1,000 bonus that you could qualify for in your first 30 days. Again, getting your first 15 customer points personally, and then helping two other people get in and get qualified. Okay? Also understand that based on your position in the business, you'll earn what is called a customer acquisition bonus every time someone comes in and gets qualified. As you see there, it says paid when IMR qualifies in 30 days. So that's awesome. So when you're presenting this information, you want to let people know, like, look, when they get to this slide, based on even just one person joining their team, they can earn income so long as that person gets qualified. That's why getting qualified on day one is so important. Now we're into the benefits. So when you get to the senior vice president slide, just go ahead and review, let people know, hey, at this level, you get 5,000 stock option shares. You also get a BMW car allowance, annual vacation, and an expense account that you can qualify for. The next slide says, as a platinum senior vice president, you get a Bentley payment. You also privy to the platinum bonus pool, where every year for the past several years, it's been over $1 million. You also get 5,000 additional stock option shares, a dream vacation, and you get a nice little trinket. The fellas get a $10,000 Super Bowl style ring, and the ladies get a $10,000 diamond pendant with 5 links across the middle. And then next, as a diamond, you can let them know that, look, you now have 2 people on your direct lineage who are diamond senior vice presidents, both Tashina Anderson and also Tupac Duranencourt. At this level, you get a $300,000 bonus just for hitting the level. You also get $10,000 a month for life and an additional 10,000 stock options. Okay? Now, this particular slide just lets people know, look, these are your options for getting in. When you get started, you can either get in at the $199 IMR level, $499 as a leader, or $999 as a VIP. Now, here's one thing that I want to make sure that we're all clear on. Don't make assumptions based on anything for what level people might get started at. We could get someone who you might not think has the money, but they believe in this business so much, they want to go all in. So you always want to tell people, like, look, don't just say to people, hey, it's $199 to get in. You want to let people know, like, look, if you want to get the most out of your business, $999 is the VIP level. That will allow you to get in and get all of these benefits. Not only do you get more samples of our products, but on top of that, you get free energy certification, over $1,000 worth of gift cards. And then on top of that, you get a free ticket to our international training event, all included. Not to mention, you also start off with over 20 customer points. Okay? At the leader level, you still get a sampling of all of our product. I say for anybody who's serious, they need to get in at least at the leader level, because what that does is that takes care of your energy certification. You get over $400 worth of gift cards, and you get a sampling of all of our wellness products. That's awesome. All right. But for those who aren't able to get in at either level, but they're willing to put in a lot of sweat equity, I make it clear to people that when they get started at the $199 level, it's an option, but they're really going to have to work hard. And I don't want you guys to shy away from that. I want you to be really honest with your potentials before you enroll them. Because if they get in at $199, you want to let them know, like, look, you're not getting in with any product. As a matter of fact, you're not even qualified when you get in at this level. When you get in at $199, you're still going to have to end up investing roughly about $360 just to get qualified, because you get in for roughly $200, but then you're paying your $49.95 for platinum services. So now you're already at $250 and you're still not qualified. You still need an additional 4 customer points to get qualified. Well, you can get those in a number of different ways, but roughly that investment is going to drive you to roughly about $360 depending on how you do it. So you want to let people know, like, these are the 3 ways that you can get in, but study this slide so you're educating your new business partners or your potential business partners about what it takes to start a successful business. Last, just to review, guys, your lifestyle. Look, if you get started in 5 links, this is a way for you to get more out of your life, be your own boss, financial freedom, leave a legacy, or give back. And then also reminding people, particularly those who have been looking at getting into business, let them know this is the difference between corporate America versus 5 links. In corporate America, typically, sadly, you have people who are standing on each other trying to get to the top, and usually someone gets hurt in the process. Whereas in 5 links, you cannot succeed unless you help others. That's the difference between what we provide and what typically people see in corporate America. And then, as I meant to say, this is a slide where people who are traditional business owners versus in 5 links need to look at this. In traditional business, people usually have to invest well above $40,000 to run a successful business, whereas in 5 links, even as a VIP, it's still under $1,000 to invest. Last but not least, let people know, like, look, this is a way where you are supported not only by a team, but we have 5 links TV. These are your resources as well, guys. 5 links TV, you have your own virtual office. You have the My 5 links app, where everybody should download this if you have a smartphone. It's a great way to track your business. You also have our international events. Everybody watching this definitely needs to be in Orlando. And then we also have representative support, okay? We also have rep services that will help you in terms of building your business. So let's go ahead and take a quick break. I want anybody who has questions, suggestions, comments, definitely bring yourself to the line. If you're on a conference line, you're more than welcome to press *6. If you are attending our webinar, you can also dial into our conference line, or you can ask a question in the group meet, okay? We're about 30 minutes in, and we're going to keep it moving. But if you have any questions, please press *6. Who do we have? All right, going once, going twice, and sold. Okay, so we're gonna move on. And so what I want to make sure that we understand, and I'm going to do this very, very quickly, is to kind of run through our quick start and how we start off effectively. Then we're going to run into how to get points, how to get partners, and how to have an effective private business reception. So let me go ahead and share the screen once again. All right. So this particular slide lets people know that when you help someone get started, you can actually have them text your RIN number to 55255. And this is great, especially if you know someone who is a little tech savvy, who might be impressed with this. It's awesome because you can literally do it. And I'm actually going to demonstrate it for you guys now. I want all of you guys to try this on your smartphone. I want you to text, again, just follow the instructions to the number 55255, and I'm actually doing it now. Text your RIN number, okay? And I'm going to actually do it right here. If you're on our conference line, you could do the same thing, but I don't think you guys can see that on our webinar. I think it's too bright, but you could text your RIN number to 55255. And I want you guys to just see how neat this is. And that way, when you share it with your prospects, they're going to get all of your information. It's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful tool, and it's free. It comes with you having your Platinum Discount Network on. And so when you get that text, and I just got mine, it should have your name, your email, your title, and all that stuff. Boy, you guys still can't really see it on the webinar, but It has your name, your title, your phone number, your email, and it has a link to your website. So when someone goes to the link to your website on a mobile phone, they're actually going to get the opportunity to either learn more, get started, or become a customer. This is awesome. Okay. So you definitely want to be using your tools. Definitely use your tools. It makes building your business so much easier, especially if you're on the go. Okay. So now, in order to start effectively, now this is where this thing gets really, really relevant for you guys, because I want you to understand that as business partners in this business, we only do two things. We help people save money and we help people make money. Okay. Now, when we help people save money, they become customers. They utilize our products and services. They get the coffee or the internet or a security system. That's what I love about this. There's so many different ways to help people, and then in return, they help you. And then we also help people make money. They become business partners. Okay. So your goal, and this is for all of our brand new partners and also your potentials. Your goal is to help them understand to become an executive trainer in 30 days. When they do that, they get an immediate $200 quick start bonus for doing that. Again, they get 15 customer points. Everybody on this line needs to have at least 15 because you're not prepared for the next position. Get to at least 15 customer points and then help two other people get in and get qualified. When that happens, Five Links will immediately pay you $200. And for as long as you're an executive trainer or higher, they'll continue to pay you $100 per month until that reaches $1,000. Now, the second step is once you're an executive trainer, you're going to teach your two new people how to get there too. So let's just say you help Cindy over here get her first two business partners in her first 30 days. Not only is she going to earn her $200 up front, but because you've done that and because you helped her build her organization, that's also going to pay you another $100. Okay? Do the same thing with Bob. Help him get his first two business partners in his 30 days. Well, guess what? Not only is he going to get his $200 up front, but you're also going to get another $100. So the thing is, the whole idea is that the more you help others, the more you help yourself at the same time. So it's truly a win-win scenario. They call this a check match. Okay, it's called your check match. Last but not least, when you get started, guys, and again, this is something that we all should have done, go to your App Store or your Google Play Store and download the My Five Links app. Become your own first customer, which we're going to talk about. Watch the First Things First video. This video is at repkit.fivelinks.com. Again, repkit.fivelinks.com. And you're going to make a list, which we're going to talk about. And you're going to get with your upline executive trainer, or executive director within your first 48 hours in this business so they can show you how to really build this. And so when you're teaching this to your brand new representatives, you're going to want to review this information with them so they understand exactly how to build in this business. All right. So let me go ahead and adjust my earpiece because my ears are sore. Okay. All right. Here we go. Awesome. So as we get ready for the next part of this particular webinar, what we're going to go through is customer acquisition. Okay. So again, if you guys have any questions, let me know, but we're going to breeze right into customer acquisition. One moment. Okay. And so what's really important about this one, guys, is that this is not just about acquiring customers. Like it says there, it's about acquiring customers that stick. So I'll give you a good example. What happened about 2.5 years ago, and I tell the story all the time. There was a person that I knew who, and I should probably get back in touch with her again. But her and I, we didn't know each other too well, but we knew each other enough to the point where I shared the 5 links business opportunity with her. She saw no interest, but she said that she did have a friend who was a property manager and who might want to save money on his commercial bills. So she helped introduce me to that individual. This guy's name was Peter. And as a result of that relationship, Peter let me get a couple of copies of his electricity bills, which I forwarded to 5 links. This was on the commercial side. I forwarded those bills to our commercial provider. And that deal ended up closing. It took a little while. I had to be persistent. I had to set up like a little three-way call. But because of that introduction, to this day, we're still reaping the benefits on that deal. Okay, so that was a large commercial energy deal. And so every single month as a result of that deal, not only do I earn the residuals on that to this day into 2015, and that was at the end of 2012, but on top of that, that landed us at the time into the 200 customer club. Okay, so that's huge because that one deal alone has generated thousands of dollars for me. Okay, so that being said, guys, this is how you acquire customers that stick. That was a very big example, but even on a small example, you can help a friend or a family member save money on a product or a bill that they're paying for. And then as a result of that introduction, and because of your relationship, you could earn income every 30 days. So the thing is, when it comes to customer acquisition, we do two things. We acquire customers and we retain customers. So once you get the customer, it's always better to find a way to keep that customer as well as get new ones. Okay, you don't want to just constantly be just getting customers all the time. Now personally, I don't have to do too much more customer acquisition at all. I personally have about 393 customer points, mostly from that commercial deal, but then also from other deals as well, and then also from family referrals. But I continue to do it because it just keeps me fresh. It allows me to continue to train you guys, and it makes me I guess a good example of what you guys could be doing as well. So I want to be effective, and so I always try to get a new customer because it builds income and it also builds experience. So here's what you also have to understand. It all starts with you. Understand and ask yourself, what do you really want? And how big is your why? Why are you doing this business? How important is it to you? Okay? So it all starts with your why. And that's what this whole business is about anyway. So, how do you become a champion when it comes to customer acquisition? Not even myself personally, excuse me, actually drinking some High Five Lean, one moment. And I hope you guys caught that. I did that on purpose, okay? Reason why I took a sip of my High Five Lean, and I'm gonna show all of you guys on the webinar the reason why I took a drink of this. Again, this isn't a water bottle, but I took some High Five Lean. If you missed it, poured it in the water, shook it, and this is my lean. Whenever possible, I do this in front of people, and they're like, "What are you doing?" Right? I'll do it around family. I'll do it just in front of whomever, and I'll just have some lean. I'm not selling. I'm not talking about it. I'm just doing it, and everybody's like, "What's that?" I'll be like, "Funny you should ask. Want to try some?" That's it. You got to have fun with this business, okay? So one thing that you want to do is you want to lead by example. Let me go back into the slides. You got to lead by example. One of the best things that you want to do, not only for your team, but also for potential customers, is lead by example. Get on your own services first. One of the best things that you can do, and I know, of course, we get into this business to build our income, but we have to invest. It's like anything else. It's like, gosh, I got this new job or I'm working this job, but I got to pay money for gas. I got to buy a uniform or clothes for work. You know what I mean? Usually you got to invest in some sort of a sitter for the kids. Or maybe you're investing in your own or someone else's college education. You got to invest. It's the same thing in your business. You have to get on your own services first, because if you don't do that, it can't enable you. How can you sell something if you're not willing to get it on your own? So the thing is, My smart builder cost me, and I'm going to give you guys some real numbers. My smart builder kit every month cost me $55. But as a result, that smart builder kit nets me at least $100 a month because of the fact that I've gotten customers off that smart builder kit. My sister recently just got High Five Fuel that I talk about all. I'm so proud of her because I'm so proud of myself because it took me 4.5 years to get her as a customer, but eventually she became one. On top of that, a friend of mine from college has been a Montevita customer of mine for over a year. We've had different examples of that. My mother has been a Montevita customer on and off. Okay. I've had other friends who've gotten on some of our products, including the fuel again. So the thing is, when you get on your own services and you drink it and you take it and you have fun with it, people are going to catch on, especially if you give them samples. So use the products and services, and your goal should be to get to 25 points as soon as possible. Many of us on this line aren't at 25 points. Get to 25 points. And remember that this is your business, and don't wait for someone else to do it for you. Ricardo can't do it for you. All right. Your upline executive can't do it for you. You got to do it for yourself. Okay. So don't wait for someone else to do it. And I also want to acknowledge, I know we might have some partners from other teams tuning in. Don't wait for your upline to do it for you. You got to do it for yourself. And you got to ask for what you want. Okay. So now let's get into it a little bit more. Okay. Who are your customers? You want to make a list. Your list should be all inclusive, all exhaustive. You want to literally make a separate list. It can't just be a list in your head or a list in your phone or a list in your virtual memory. You got to put it down on paper. Okay. And this includes family and friends. So my list, I'm just gonna kind of just like make a list of people that I can think of in my own circle. Okay, I'm the youngest of five, so that includes my four other siblings. It's also my mother and my father. That also includes my stepfather. That also includes, okay, now that I think of my stepfather, that includes his current wife. That includes their kids. That includes, now that I think about it, one of their children recently got married. Also, now that I think of my four siblings, now I can think of their spouses. So three out of my four siblings are married. So so that would be my brother, two of my brother-in-laws, and also my sister-in-law. But then again, wait a minute, my brother also has an ex-wife. Well, what about her? Well, that's someone else on my list. So just in that example of immediate family, guys, I must have given you about 20 names. You guys could do the same thing. What if you don't have a big family? Well, let me go into it a little bit more. Let's go into my friends. Well, friends, that could be huge. It doesn't even have to be people that you talk to every day. But when I think about friends, now I'm thinking about people I used to pal around with in college. Now I'm thinking, okay, well, what about high school? Who haven't I talked to in a while? Now I'm thinking about, wait a minute, right before California, I lived in New York. Before that, I was in Boston. When I was in Boston, I was a club promoter kind of part-time. So there are people that I palled around with on the nightlife scene. Then when I moved to New York, I'm like, okay, when I first moved to Poughkeepsie, there were people there who I kind of palled around with. Okay. And guys, I'm just talking about immediate friends and family. I didn't even go into work associates. Think about all the places you worked. Think about where you work now. Who do you eat lunch with? Who do they know? Okay, well, what about organizations you're a part of? All of my Greeks, all of the alphas and the kappas and the zetas and the deltas and the AKAs and the sigmas, you know what I mean? All your organizations. Are you in Toastmasters? Are you in a real estate club? If you're not, get in one. Go to meetup.com and join some. And there's so many other examples. You want to make a list and take this seriously and almost act as if every person that you put down gave you like 10 bucks. You want to make your list long because this is your working capital in 5 links. Okay. So you want to make a separate list and understand that all of the people on your list, they're in 3 categories. They're red apples, green apples, and rotten apples. Your red apples are people who are very approachable and they're easygoing. These are people who usually say yes, they love you, and they're easygoing. Spend 80% of your time here. I'll give you a secret, guys. One of my biggest red apples is my mother. Why? And why was she easy to identify? Because she has always and continues to be there for me through thick and thin. You know what I mean? When times are rough, she was there for me. When times are easy, she was there for me. She's always looking out. We all have someone like this. It may not be your mother. It might be your brother. It might be your sister. It might be a best friend. It might be a neighbor. It might be a roommate. It might be your child. All right. It could be anybody. It could be a grandparent. Identify your red apples and spend most of your time here. Because when you ask them for a favor, they're going to help you and they refer other people. Because of my mother and actually my father, I actually landed a small commercial deal. Here's how it happened. Every Thursday, I tell this story all the time. And remember, stories sell, but facts tell. Every Thursday, my mother and my father go to a place called Shoreline Grill. This is in the Boston area. They go to Shoreline Grill, they get a sub or they get pizza, right? Every Thursday without fail. They know the owner of the business personally. And so I asked, and I remind my parents all the time. I say, look, as you remember, I'm in a business. I'd really love it if you could refer me to some great people. Okay. So they referred me to the owner of this sub shop. His name is Sam. And my father said, hey, Sam, you know, my son is in a business and he could probably help you cut costs on some of your bills. Sam said, well, what kind of bill? You know, so my father said probably electricity or credit card processing. So Sam said, well, guess what? Your son could take a stab at our electricity because it is a little high. And plus, you know, you're in here every Thursday. I know you're not going anywhere. So he connected me with Sam. And as a result of that introduction, every 30 days, not only have we been able to save him about 20% on his electricity, but now for the last 7 or 8 months, going on 8 months, we've been able to make money every month that Sam pays his bill. Isn't that a beautiful thing? So your red apples can not only become your customers, but they can refer you to other customers. Spend most of your time here. I'm always going back to my parents and saying, who else do you know? All right. So think about who's in your red apple circle. Then you have your green apples. Green apples, you know, these are people who have questions and are kind of willing to help, but they need more information. So for these people, they like to ask a lot of questions. So answer maybe 3 questions, but then move on. Okay, refer them to your personal website and keep it moving because they will waste your time. Spend only 20% of your time here. I have a lot of green apples. We have more green apples than red apples, guys. So for these people, just kind of refer them to your website after answering a few questions, but then also understand you have rotten apples. These are people who, no matter what, they won't support you. Spend 0% of your time here, okay? Don't spend any time here because these people, they're just going to sink your, not only are they going to try to sink your business, but they're going to sink your spirits, and you don't want that, okay? So don't spend too much time there. Hopefully we're still good, guys. Now, here we go. Here are the rules of engagement, okay? When you're engaging with a potential customer, all right, understand why you need their support. Understand that this is not just about you becoming a new salesperson, because you're not. All you're doing is leaning on the relationship. Okay? You're leaning on the relationship. Know why you need their support. Okay? And you also need to know how the products work personally. This is why it was so important for you to become your own first customer. That's why it's still important for you to become your own first customer. One strategy that I may suggest is that try out some of the services for yourself and the products for yourself because it makes you more effective in sharing it with other friends and family. Okay? So learn how they work and think residential and commercial. So you know some people, of course, who are just residential customers, brothers, sisters, cousins, uncles, whatever, right? But then many of these people might be business owners. Who do you know who owns a hair salon or a barber shop or a corner store or a real estate franchise or anything like that, right? These could become your commercial customers as well. And also think about the people who they know. okay? They could be some great referrals, okay? Also invest in great 5 links marketing materials. Let me see if this will actually allow me to type so you guys can see it. Yeah, you guys can actually see what I'm typing. So a great resource for this is www.5linksstore.com. If you go to 5linksstore.com, you can actually get some great brochures. Let me actually give you guys or show you guys an example, because I want you guys to understand as I get a little bit more comfortable here. I want you guys to actually understand what these are, okay? I actually have a ton of these. Look. And I wanted to let you guys know that you can't be a hypocrite and market this business. You got to get on the products and services. As you guys can probably tell, I'm on the boost right now and I'm on edge. Okay. I actually didn't have a boost this morning, so I'm about to have a boost. Okay. But when you're on the products and services, you could be your own personal testimonial. Again, I have my lean right here. Then I keep these on me. I keep these in my car. I might keep one or two on me. And when I'm in a conversation with like a business owner, let's say there's a store that I go to a lot, I'll have this and like, look, I think this costs like $3. You can get 10 of these for $3. And this goes through all the products and services that we have in our portfolio. So what you want to do, and for those of you guys who are listening on the phone line, I'm holding up our products and services brochure from 5linksstore.com. Excellent, excellent material right here. So anyway, let's go ahead and get back into our presentation. So you want to go ahead and invest in some of your marketing materials and understand want versus need. Understand the fact that people usually buy what they want, but they beg for what they need. I'll give you a good example. When people get the brand new iPhone, do they need it or do they want it? You don't really need it, but people get it because they want it. They love the features. Now, anybody could get a flip phone, it'll work, but people will buy what they want, but they'll beg for what they need. Usually when it comes to investing or getting a $700 or $800 iPhone, people will get it, right? No problem. When it comes to getting a new pair of shoes or an expensive bag, people will get it, right? But then when it comes to getting into our business, they know that they need it, but people will beg for it. They'll say, well, why is it so much money? So you want to understand that, especially when it comes to getting customers, you want to not just try to sell people. You want to make sure that you emphasize the importance of your relationship. So here's how you actually acquire customers. You want to acquire customers using a script, and you want to sort for your red apples. Here's how you do it. You're going to use the words favor, help, and try. And I'm going to get into that in a moment. I think that's in the next, that's in the next couple of slides. But you're going to use a script. And when you do that, you're going to actually assist the customer with becoming a customer. You're not just going to give them a link. I know we say to do that with your green apples, but if someone says, okay, I'll be a customer, what you got? You want to sit down with them and actually help them become a customer. I'll show you guys personally what I did with my sister recently. I hate to use my family as an example, but it's true. Okay. So last week when I was in Southern California, I was drinking my High Five Fuel. I don't have a fuel near me, but I have High Five Fuel. So I was drinking a High Five Fuel and I was letting her know that I was going to drive to Vegas. And I was like, look, I'm going to drive to Vegas. Vegas is about like a 4-hour drive from LA. So I was like, I'm going to drive to Vegas. And she was like, how are you going to do that? You're not having a lot of sleep. I said, I got fuel. And so she's like, oh, is that like one of those Monster or 5-hour energy drinks? I'm like, it's better because it contains something called niagen. It's actually good for your body. So I'm going to be having this. So I was just using myself as a testimonial. I wasn't really selling her on it. And so I was like, you want to try some? She was like, oh, I'm on my way to aerobics. Do you think it'll help you get more energy? I said, absolutely. And so she was like, you know what? I've been looking for something that was healthier, that I wouldn't have jitters or a crash. Do you have any of that? And I said, absolutely not. So I gave her a sample of my fuel. And so she was like, you know what? I want some. And so I said, great. And so in that same breath, did I send her a link? No. Did I say, here's a link to my website, go check it out? No. You can't be so afraid of success. You have to strike while the iron is hot. So the minute someone says, I want to try some, I whipped out my phone. I went to fivelinks.net / my RIN number. And this is how it looks on all of your phones. I went to fivelinks.net / my RIN. I went to home products. I went to Hi-Fi Fuel, right? And hopefully I could do, because I'm on the phone at the same time. I'm putting my poor phone through a lot. But I went to Hi-Fi Fuel. I went through the whole ordering process, and she became my customer. It's that simple. And now, what I just did the other day, I was like, did you get your shipment yet? She's like, no. I said, you'll probably get it on Monday. When she gets it, I'm going to ask her, how does she like it? I'm going to continue to follow up with her. I'm going to make sure that she continues to enjoy it. So for all of us who have customers, continue to follow up and thank them for becoming your customer. It's that simple. But this ensures your income. It's wonderful, and it doesn't really take that much time. Plus, she's my sister. I love her, and I'm going to continue to stay in touch anyway. Okay? So there you go. As you see here, it says follow up with your customers to ensure satisfaction and ask for referrals. And I also let her know, hey, if you refer 5 other people, you get yours for free. Okay? So again, speak with excitement. Have a sense of urgency. Again, help them become a customer as soon as possible and be serious and professional. This allows you to get residual income for the rest of your life, okay? So again, use emotion versus logic. You always want to use emotion versus logic. So you want to acquire customers from the heart using emotion. Here's an example. Are you going to say to someone, hey, I found a way to save you a lot of money? Not really, not your friends and family, because you become an annoying salesperson. You want to tell people, look, you mean so much to me. And as you know, or as you may know, I got started in a business. I could really use your help. Okay? You notice what I'm doing there. I'm using emotion. I'm not using logic. I'm not going into all the features and the benefits. I mean, you can, but you want to start off using emotion, because that's how you leverage relationships, the people that you already know, love, and trust. Okay? So here are the words that work. Pay attention to this slide, take a picture of it, write it down. You want to use these words. You want to say, I need a huge favor. Can you help me out and try one of my services? Okay? Now, see, you want to be specific. As it says there, your job is to find the want. Okay? So again, hey, Joe, I need a huge favor. Can you help me out? Try one of my services, please. They're like, well, what is it and why? And you can let them know, look, I got started in a business. As you know, the job is stressing me out, or as you know, the kids are going to college soon, or as just trying to find a way to leave a legacy for the next generation, trying to find a way to help mom retire, trying to find a way to help dad with his medical bills, whatever it is. State your why and let them know that you need a huge favor. See, when you do things like that, people are much more likely to become a customer. Okay? So now the next area, now for commercial customers, it could be very, very simple. Again, you can lean on your relationship. Again, you could say to that person, especially if it's a shop that you frequent, you can let them know, hey, if I could save money on your bill, can we do business together? Or you could say to them, all I need is a copy of your bill, and our experts will analyze it and see how much we can save you. That works very, very well for credit card processing and also for commercial energy. Get a couple of copies of their bill, and then you dial into the correct numbers and follow the process in order to get them as a customer. If you really want to get into detail in terms of how to acquire each one of those as customers, definitely refer to your 5links University. But it's very, very simple with our merchant processing. All you have to do is dial into WorldPay. The phone number is in your personal website, and they will walk you through everything. For commercial energy, again, all the steps are in your personal website. You must be energy certified. But then once you do that, just follow the steps on your personal website, and that'll allow you to get a commercial energy customer. Okay? Remember this, guys. When you're acquiring customers, remember that some will, some won't. So what? and call the next red apple. Here's where this slide was inspired from. Back in the 80s, okay, let me give you guys a story. It's now story time with Ricardo. Back in the 80s, okay, there was a big shift that was going on. And I like to talk about this a lot. This is great for just general knowledge. In the 80s, there was one major phone company out there. It was AT&T, and they were also known as Bell. Okay, Bell was like the main game in town. But then you had all these little seedlings of companies sprinkling up, because what happened was, similar to energy today, the government deregulated long distance. The government deregulated it, so it made it so a lot of these smaller companies could come in and compete with the big boys. And so when that happened, all these little companies started to come in. Companies like MCI, LCI was another one, and also Sprint. And what Sprint actually adopted as its motto is that some will become a customer. They realized that AT&T was going to continue to probably get the biggest market share of customers. They knew that MCI was going to get another big bulk of customers, but they understood the principle that some will. And I want you guys to understand that as well. When you're doing this business, even when it comes to getting partners, which we'll talk about next, understand that some will become a customer, some will become a partner, some won't, most probably won't, but some will. And that's all you need. If you could just internalize that some will become a customer or a business partner, you can make a lot of money in five links. So don't get discouraged when some won't, because remember, some will. Okay, hopefully that was clear and I didn't beat that into the ground. Okay, now another thing that you want to do, especially if you have your team partners around, or you can even call some of the folks on your team, for all of our executives who are on this call, of our executive trainers and executive directors, don't wait for your upline to do this for you. You want to be doing this on your own, and these are called power hours. What is a power hour? A power hour is an opportunity for you to get around some of the people in your team or in your group. You can sit in a room, or you can even do this on the phone. But you basically get into an environment where all of you guys could just pound the phones for an hour, and you can say to each other, "Hey, look, the winner of this contest gets a gift certificate. The winner of this gets a whatever." Okay, or maybe everybody just puts $5 into a pot, and then the winner of the power hour gets the pot. Okay, and we've actually done this in New York. I remember doing this with my cousins, Pam and Olivia, and we sat around in a room and we did power hours. And we would call as many people as we could in that time. And what that does is that creates a winning environment. It's a great suggestion, for instance, for our Vegas team and our Southern California team, where all of you guys are in a small room, or even for our Cleveland team, Mr. David Agrasanis' organization, or in Columbus, Ohio, or in Detroit, Michigan. Wherever there's clusters of folks, you can get into a room and do this, or even if you are in different parts of the country, do this over the phone. But however you do a power hour, do them because they really help inspire activity. Also, understand that retaining customers is important. It's always easier to keep a customer, so invest time into it. So what I'm going to definitely do, especially as we are around holiday season, my next oldest sister is my electricity customer. She probably forgot, because she became my electricity customer almost a year ago. And so I'm going to continue to let her know, look, you probably don't even realize it, but every time you pay your electricity bill, you're helping me out, and I just want to say thank you. Okay, and you want to do that. Send people little gift cards. You can even send them a little picture text message. Doesn't have to be fancy, but do it because it helps people stay on. And you're just building a good relationship. And what you could also do is you could say to them, hey, we're about to release this new product called Turvy. Can actually allow you to save so much money in your bill on cable, and you don't even need a credit check. And on top of that, you can even stream things onto your devices and things like that. I mean, people will love it, and it'll allow you to, again, get more customers. So again, like it says here, which customers stick? These are satisfied customers, customers who use the product or service, and customers who are loyal to you. So you want to continue to build relationships. So one thing that I suggest, and I'm going to actually put it right here in the slide so you see it. You want to build relation. I shouldn't have deleted that. All right. I think this will just make it smaller. So one moment. Let me make this smaller. One suggestion that I have for you guys is this is something that I do. Resources. One resource that you could use, meetup.com. Everybody today, I don't, if you're watching this presentation, join meetup.com right now. It is free. It is simple. All you need is like a name and an email. Join meetup.com today. Find a meetup in your area and darn it, sign up to go to something. 99.9% of meetups are free. Just go. I went to 3 meetups last week. Okay. I went to a meetup for, because I'm also a tech geek, so to speak. So I went to a meetup for programmers. I went to a meetup for, I went to 2 meetups for programmers. I went to another meetup, which was for entrepreneurs. It's for bootstrappers. And I just went and I met people. Okay. So, and as a matter of fact, I met a guy who was a software engineer, but he's been trying to start his own business. So I'm going to share the presentation with him later on today. Again, meetup.com. Another great resource, just kind of thinking, are referrals from others, including Reds. All right. What are some other resources? Just people you know, people you don't know, neighbors, um, etc. Anyway, you have your Toastmasters organizations. You have your Chamber of Commerce. I'll just say Chamber of Commerce. You have Rotary clubs. All right. You could go to Google and just Google or look another. I'm just kind of doing things off the cuff. You have Eventbrite.com. You have a lot of great resources. So anyway, always find ways to build and maintain relationships of people that you know, okay? And people that you don't know. Also, when retaining customers, like I mentioned, here are some of the avenues: birthday cards, holiday cards, thank you cards, follow-up cards, and ask them, hey, are you enjoying the service? Are there any other services that you could benefit from? Last but not least, remember, make your why strong and make sure your why is strong. You can't just be doing this for money. Okay. You got to do it for a reason that's deeper than money. Okay. Also, you want to make sure that you're minimally qualified for PSVP. What does that mean? At least get to 25 points, but 50 and 100 customers, all right, that'll yield you anywhere from 25 to from $250 to $500 per month just from 5 links. On top of that, you're going to get residual income. And then also, when you do this and you work with your team, you're going to build your income exponentially. Imagine not only if you had 50 points or 50 customers, but everybody on your team did. Okay, you could really explode your income. All right, so hopefully, guys, that made a lot of sense. And what I want to do is I'm going to take a quick little break. I'm not going to leave, but this can be the time where you guys could go to the bathroom. I'm going to give everybody like 2 to 3 minutes. This is like a super Saturday, right? From home. But I'm going to give everybody 2 to 3 minutes. Run to the restroom right now if you're going to do it. I'm just going to tell a couple of stories, and then we're going to get right back and get right into prospecting. So as like a little commercial break, I want to make sure everybody is getting ready for nationals. Once again, this is my high five lean. If you're just tuning in, high five lean and my bottle of Arrowhead water. Again, all I do to make lean, and this is me personally being lazy, I'll drink some water, and then when there's space enough for me to kind of like mix it and shake it, I'll pour some lean. Oh, I still have a little bit left. I'll pour some lean into it. Give you guys a little demo. I'll just rip the end. It's really no frills, guys. Okay. I'll pour some lean in, close it, and I do this around people. I make sure that when I do this, someone's watching me. Why? Because sometimes they ask, well, what is it? What are you doing? And I'll say, funny you should ask, want to try some? All right. Sorry for shaking the camera. But I'll pour some, I'll drink it. I'll go, ah. People are like, what are you doing? Funny you should ask. Want to try some? Look, you got to have fun with this business. And so one of the things that you definitely want to do is get a smart builder. Okay. Matter of fact, for everybody who does not have a smart builder right now, let me see. Let me see if I can. They give you a lot of cool little handouts. I don't feel like getting up, but I have my smart builder box over there. I have, and they give you, here's another thing that they give you. They give you these little brew cups of Montevita coffee. So that's great. It's great to sample and give out to people. And this is, again, another way you can get a customer. People, even if they don't want to get a whole auto ship, if someone loves the coffee, they'll buy these from you. I've sold these for $5. Okay. Actually, I sold I think it's a 2.5 ounce bags for $5. This you could sell for like $2. You know what I mean? And so it's just a great way to make some extra income. You can retail them. If you know of any business owners, you can tell them, hey, this is something that you could retail. Anyway, back to the info. We're now coming back to prospecting. All right, hopefully you guys are ready. We are getting into prospecting. Here we go. All right, guys. So one of the building blocks to this business that we like to talk about is prospecting. Prospecting is so important because once you've learned how to acquire customers, your goal is to really make sure that you're building a team around the same concept. All right. A great reason, and a lot of people don't understand this, when a lot of people think of multi-level marketing or network marketing, unfortunately, most negative perceptions come from the fact that when we try to approach family and friends, and when other people have done it, all it is about getting them in. It has nothing to do with their needs, their goals. It just seems selfish. So that's why so many people are put off by our profession. So your whole goal, and Eric Worre talks about this all the time, a great book, by the way, is called Go Pro in Network Marketing. Okay. But he talks about this, that when you're sharing the idea of 5 links with people, your goal is 2 things: education and understanding. Your goal isn't to, of course, your goal is to get them enrolled, but ultimately, you want to help with their education and understanding. Make sure that they really understand what it is that we do. Okay. So when you're prospecting, guys, let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes. Make a list. This could be the same list that you use for your customer acquisition list, but you want to identify potential business partners. We should all recommit ourselves to doing this today. Your list is your working capital. Write it on paper or print it out, or at least put it like on an Excel spreadsheet or a Word document on your computer. But you want to give people the opportunity to say no, and you do not want to prejudge people when creating your list. So when you're creating your list, guys, think of the people. I'm sorry. Those you think that will do the business, they won't do 5 links. Okay, that happens so much. And those you think won't do it will do it. Those you think that can do the business, usually they can't for whatever reason. And those you think can't do it, they usually can. The thing is, just don't prejudge. Give everybody, this should say, give everybody the opportunity to say no. Everybody. Don't assume someone's just going to say no. You could even say to someone, just joking with them, you could say, look, I know there's no way in heck that you would ever do this, but could I get your opinion on this? I really respect you. I love you. Could you check this out? Okay. There's 1,050,000 ways you can get this information in front of people, but you definitely want to do it. Okay. Now, when you're making your list, also think of people who have a great work ethic. It doesn't matter if they're super busy. If they have a great work ethic, then they could potentially become an SVP in your organization. Okay. So think of people who have a great work ethic, people who are hungry, people who have a very high level of integrity, and also people who have personal power. You always want to think of these sorts of individuals because I'm telling you, it makes a difference. If you have people like this in your organization, they're going to win. Okay, they're going to stick to it. All right. People like yourself, people who would take the time on a Sunday afternoon and check out this sort of information. You want people like this in your team. Think about people who are into personal development. People who love Tony Robbins or Les Brown. As a matter of fact, that's how I believe I met Carrie Fletcher. I think I met and came acquainted with Carrie Fletcher through through one of the Les Brown groups. So this is a little hint for those of you guys who are finding some of your prospects on social media. One thing that I'll caution you about is that you got to build a real relationship, and you got to eventually get close enough to someone to the point where you guys exchange phone numbers. But that being said, how do you find these people? Very, very simple. Find people who are into personal development. Find people who might be into real estate, people who are into building part-time businesses, people who are positive, people who are into the church or mosque or synagogue, or people who just want to seek more out of life. Think about that. Think about people again who go to meetup groups, networking groups. What sort of person would take the time out of their day instead of going right home from work? People who want more out of life. So even after a long day of work, they're going to a networking meeting. They're going to Toastmasters. They're going to the Rotary Club or the Chamber of Commerce meeting. Think of people like that. What if you're younger in this business? Maybe you don't know a lot of people who are like that. Well, there are certain clubs and organizations catered to younger people, like maybe college clubs. All right. Maybe again, Toastmasters, a lot of these clubs, maybe young entrepreneur groups. Search for those and connect with those sorts of people. Okay. All right. So that being said, let's go ahead and talk about how to pique interest. So when you're piquing interest, your goal is to get a yes. Okay. One of the biggest traps that I used to fall into and that many of us fall into is explaining the opportunity. Here's how it usually goes. You might say to someone, hey, you keep your business options open. They'll say, yeah, what is it? You'll say, oh, well, it's a company called Five Links. They'll say, well, what is Five Links? Just tell me about it first. And now you feel stuck. Now you feel like you got to explain everything. Now you're like, okay, well, we help people save money on bills. And then people say, what kind of bills? And before you know it, you're giving people the entire presentation. What does that do? That puts a bullet in your business. You are killing your business in a bad way. You don't ever want to explain this. Your goal, when your lips are moving, and this is something that Eric Worre says often, when your lips are moving, you should either be pointing to something or telling a story. What does that mean? Well, when you say to someone, hey, do you keep your business options open? And they say, what is it? You're either going to be pointing to a presentation or tell a story. You could say to someone, well, look, there was a guy who got started in our business. He caught in with little or no experience. He was actually a party promoter. But today I'm working, he's on our team and he actually makes millions of dollars. That's a story, guys. And then you want to point. You could say, look, all the information is in a quick 10-minute presentation. If I send it to you, will you watch it? Notice I didn't explain anything. And then people say, okay, well, just tell me what it is. You could just say, okay, well, there is a phone number that explains everything inside of about 2 minutes. If I send it to you, will you listen to it? Your goal is to not to explain it. And I know some people get hung up right here. They're like, oh man, I mean, people feel like I'm up to something if I don't explain it. And some people get suspicious. You can tell people, look, I'm brand new to this thing. I can't even really explain it the right way, but all of it is correctly explained in this tool. If I send it to you, will you look at it? Or if I leave you with this magazine, will you read through it? You want to let people know and make it clear that this is something that would be best observed with a tool, okay? And also, guys, your goal is to keep your prospect curious. The less you say, the more success you will have. And your excitement and enthusiasm are far more important than your knowledge in this business. If you're just excited, that goes so much further. Some of us are very monotone. Work on this, guys. Some of us are if you have had trouble recruiting in your business, work on showing enthusiasm. That is so clear. I mean, key. You guys have heard of the phrase ignorance on fire always outperforms knowledge on ice. You don't necessarily have to be ignorant, but what that means is that you want to be excited. Be so excited. Do not appear shaken. Don't appear stirred. You want to be like, look, I saw something. People are like, well, what is it? You got to be like, look, it's in a link. Let me send it to you right. You got to check this out like right now. You don't even have to have the right words. Be excited and share the information. It's not so much how you explain that. You don't have to be fancy. Just be excited and get them in front of it. Hopefully that's clear, guys. Okay. So here's some examples. Hey, Bob, are you open to making some additional income in your current career? Look, one thing I would probably say here is say, would you be open? Only reason why I'm editing this is because it makes the script a little bit easier and just as effective. Would you be open? Oh, I don't even think I can edit this one. All right, maybe that's that way for a reason. But you could say something like, would you be open to a side project if it didn't affect what you are already doing? Your goal is to get them to say yes. You could say to them, keep your business options open. Your goal is to get them to say yes. You could say, hey, if I could show you how to make money every time someone does X, Y, and Z, would that interest you? Your goal is to get them to say yes. You could say to someone, hey, look, anything like that, guys. My favorite one is, do you keep your business options open? Simple. Would you be open to making some extra money if it didn't affect what you were already doing? Most people would say yes. Or they would say, what is it? Or most people will say, it depends. What is it? That's kind of like a yes. Then you say, look, all the information is in a DVD. If I send it to you, will you look at it? All the information is in a 3-minute call. If I sent you the number, will you listen to it? All the information's in this little magazine that I got here. If I let you borrow it for a day, would you look through it? You don't want to explain it. You just simply want to get the information in front of them. Now, when you're talking to people, just remember simple conversation. Talk about family, occupation, recreation, and money. Hey, how's the family going, Bob? Family's going well. Family's doing well. Holidays coming up, And then sometimes they start to give you their pain. They say, well, family's good, but I don't know how I'm going to afford all these holiday gifts. Or you say, hey, Bob, how's work going? Well, work's going okay, but it's a job. Sometimes people love their job, and that's great. You say, how's work going? And Cindy says, I love it. Work is going wonderful. Awesome. You're just making conversation. You're just warming up the conversation, so to speak. Talk about recreation. Hey, what are you doing for the holidays? What are you doing? And this is stuff, especially that today's a Saturday. Check in on people. Ask them how their holiday shopping's going. Ask them what their New Year's plans are. Go through different things. And then get into money. All right, you don't have to say, hey, how's money treating you? I mean, unless you know them pretty well, you can. But usually what people will do when you're talking about these various things, they're going to start to express their pain. Okay? So just have regular conversation with people and things are going to come up. Now, if your prospect is interested in getting more information, all right, now you want to, again, have them listen to the 3-minute peak call. Okay, now that peak call number, I'm going to have to edit this because I want you guys to see it. Let's see if we can do that. One moment, guys. Okay, I think we're back on me. We're not supposed to be back on me. Let me show you guys okay, we were in prospecting. One moment, guys. Technology happens. Here we go. All right. So now, when you are doing when you are sharing the 3-minute peak call, here's the peak call number. Make sure not only you write this down, but it's saved in your phone, like preferably like in the favorites or in the speed dial section. It's 585-420-4582. And I believe I have that correct. It's 585 420-4582. I use it so much, I should have it memorized by now. I think that's what it is. And 585, 5 links peak call. 42, yep, got it right. 585-420-4582. Have them listen to it. What I actually had someone do recently when I was in Vegas last week, there with Mr. Pope's team, including Alexis and Patrick. While I was out there, I met a young lady. She's always wanted to start her own business. And so while we were right there, I pulled out the phone. I said, "You keep your business options open?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "Well, what is it that you got?" And I was like, "Well, it's a business that has really helped a lot of people retire early." Again, I'm telling a story. I'm not explaining it. She's like, "Wow, what is it? Can you give me more info?" I said, "Sure." I said, "Pull out your phone." She pulled out her phone and I had her dial the number and I said, "Put it on speaker." And so her and I listened at the same time. Now you're exposing people. See how that works? So once they've listened to it, all right, then you can either do a three-way call, or preferably the next step is to have them look at a live, or I'm sorry, have them look at a pre-recorded presentation. So the best pre-recorded presentation I would suggest is going to presentation.5links.com. Again, either watching it with them live, which is always the most effective, but if you can't, send this link to them and set up a time to follow up. Presentation.5links.com. This is how you get partners. Be excited. Once they want more information, don't explain it. Get them in front of one of these resources. The peak number, 585-420-4582. The presentation, or if you have a magazine that has the story of 5links, let them borrow a magazine. Okay? Either way, these tell the story, and that's what you want to do. And then, of course, you want to set up an appointment, and then you want to make sure that you invite them to a live three-way call with your upline leader. You can actually tell them, "Hey, my upline Ricardo would love to talk to you. My upline Lashana would love to talk to you. My upline executive, Mr. David Agrasanis, or my upline executive, Ms. Pamela Reeves, would love to speak with you. When will you have a moment?" And set up an appointment. That says apartment. Set up an appointment and invite them to a call with an upline leader. Or you can leave a DVD. So we even have these materials. Again, go to 5links Store. You want to invest in your business. Go to 5linksstore.com. And you want to invest in things like the magazine or the presentation DVD, because you can make copies and you can leave them with people. Ask me how I know. Well, I actually did it. Let me go ahead and give you guys another story. Notice what I'm doing. I'm constantly trying to give you guys stories, because you always want to use stories and not explain, okay? What I did, and as a matter of fact, for anybody on the team, I'm going to be sending these to all of our new partners. But if you've been on the team for a while and don't have one of these, contact me and I'll send you one of these. I'll have to charge you, or probably charge you for shipping, for like maybe $4 or $5. But this is the full presentation on a DVD, and it also includes the slides. So while you're out there sharing the opportunity, you could have a simple DVD like this, or a what we call a push play DVD, which has the whole presentation on it. You share this with somebody, and when they look at it, have them speak with an upline executive. Okay? Great, 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 great technique. Okay? So that being said, guys, you can go to 5linksstore.com also, but invest in your business and make sure you have the tools to properly invite people. Okay? So also understand there's a funny term that we have called ducks. Everybody has ducks. What is a duck? A duck, notice that ducks usually follow each other. Okay? Ducks are people who will usually join your business because you joined it. Everybody probably has at least one or two ducks. I can remember doing a PBR back in the day, and I remember we did a PBR, and as a result of the PBR, the best friend of the person we did the PBR for got started only because her friend did it. There's no other reason. We have people out there who love us so much, they trust our relationship so much that they'll get started just because we did. So that's why you always want to expose people and have a sense of urgency with your ducks. It's kind of a funny term, but understand that you have people that you have influence over, including your friends. And many times they'll join this business if you're excited enough about it because you joined it. So, look, like it says here, everyone knows at least one person that will enroll in 5links just because. Okay. So, you want to have passion behind what you do. Okay. As we close this thing off, look, understand that the only way, and here's something I want to make clear to you guys, and I'm really serious about this. There are many of us on this line listening, and there are many of us on this webinar who are saying to ourselves, if only I could find the shortcut. There are some people who enrolled in our business who are like, you know what? I'm going to come up with the fanciest blogging platform ever. There's some people who've said to me, it's kind of like a gift and a curse because obviously I use YouTube a lot. I've used social media a lot, but I don't really push it too hard in our trainings because you have to master the basics before moving on to the extravagant. But there's so many of us, we don't understand duplication. The only way, and I want to make this clear, the only way to build a long-lasting and successful business in 5links is to use the tools they already give us. I'm using the same slides the company gave us, nothing else. And what I want to make clear to each of you guys is that you have to follow the system. If not, it's not going to work. And I've had people, I'll give you an example. I had someone come in and they said, you know what, I'm going to build this thing only through Facebook. I don't even want to talk to anybody that I know. That person was in 5links for about 2 weeks and then they said, this don't work, and they quit. I had someone else get in and they said, you know what, I'm going to come up with the fanciest blogging platform. It's a new tool. Ricardo, I'm telling you, pick your BMW and Bentley now. It's going to go down. And they were in business for about 3 weeks. Didn't work. I've had other people who said, you know what, I've been in multi-level marketing before. I already have tools. I got this. And guess what? They're not in the business anymore. And it's because they were like, man, 5links don't work. It wasn't that 5links didn't work. It was that they didn't work 5links. They didn't work the company. They didn't work it effectively. In order to have duplication, you must do briefings. You must have PBRs, which we'll discuss last. You have to use the DVDs, the website, and you have to be on our conference calls. As a matter of fact, to get on our weekly conference call, you want to definitely check out, I'm trying to get rid of that thing, but our conference call, and anybody can plug into these. It's at tinyurl.com/epic team calls. Make that smaller so it's all on one line, but it's tinyurl.com/epic team calls. You can get the full schedule of our weekly conference calls. You don't have to wait for a text message. You can plan it out, put it in your planner, put it in your calendar. And even if you can't attend live, all of the playbacks are there. But this is how you build the business. And when you get in new partners, what are you going to do? You're going to teach them how to attend weekly briefings, find the weekly briefings in your city. All right. I understand that for all of our Ohio and Kentucky area partners, we have one of our platinums who's going to be in that area this coming week. We have stuff in Chicago. We have stuff in Boston, New York, Atlanta, Northern and Southern California, and everywhere in between. Find out where your briefings are. Have your in-home meetings, your private business receptions, hand out your DVDs, give out the website again at presentation.5links.com, and also make sure you and your partners are on our weekly calls, okay? Last but not least, in terms of prospecting, share the opportunity with everyone that you come into contact with, and remember that the law of large numbers will never fail you. Some will do the business. Some will. And those some will bring you to the many. You don't need everyone. Imagine if you just had one person, two people who really get it, and they go out and they run with this thing. They get their customers. Because you know how to get customers, you could teach them how to do it. Because you know how to get business partners effectively, you teach them how to do it using the same tools, using all the tools that we talked about, the weekly briefings, the private business reception, the DVDs, the website, and also conference calls. Just use the tools and you can win. So that's all of prospecting. We're going to have another 1 to 2 minute break, and then we're going to have the last quick module, which is all on having in-home briefings. This is very, very important, guys. I hope you guys are enjoying the information. This is another 2 minute break for your bathroom break. And once again, this training is brought to you by Montevita Coffee. It's brought to you by your tools at 5linkstore.com. It's brought to you by High Five Edge, which is awesome. Helps improve endurance and enhances metabolic activity and boosts cognitive function, supports healthy aging, and helps you maintain healthy cholesterol. And this is brought to you by Boost. I'm actually going to have a Boost now. And just to show you guys, look, it comes in these tablets. You want to have these tools. I hope I'm just preaching to the choir. Everybody needs a smart builder. Smart builder, guys. So we have 1 more minute left back from a commercial. We're going to jump in. It's very simple. Again, you take this stuff, do it in front of people, especially potential customers, and just immediately just do it. They're like, oh, what are you doing? Say nothing. Want to try one? Tell them about it. Say, look, give me energy all day. And it's on 1:30 here on the West Coast. So, hey, why not? Put it on your tongue and it dissolves, right? Or you can dissolve it in a bottle of water. But I like to just have it, it's like a Mentos almost, right? It's like all right. These are mini flavored, these are berry flavored. So not only are they good for you, this one is great because it boosts your energy, improves your focus, the oxidants. Okay? So we're going with the last part of this training. Everybody has been enjoying it. For talking with my mouth full, this high five boost. But I hope everyone and I finished with this last part, which is going to be 15 minutes or less, and comments to this session. Okay. Definitely want to hear questions, comments. And if you want to ask a question, dial into the conference line. Okay. Conference line it is 605 562 3140. Again, 605-562-3140. And the PIN code 88 pound. Again, 335-889 to go into our last. Here we go, guys. Private business receptions. And so we don't have it on our team. You got to be doing more. These work. And I'm going to show you how simple they are. So where's my private business receptions? One moment, guys. PBRs. Guys are private business receptions, okay? Very key, very important, and key, vital, all that stuff to your business. So when you have a private business reception, here's why. Every new business in the world has a grand opening. McDonald's has grand openings. We all know what McDonald's is and what they sell, but they always have one. Every new IHOP has a grand opening. Every new tax service has a grand opening. If you're in business, Business 101 is to always have a grand opening. Why? Because it lets everybody know that you're in business. How are you in 5 links, but you don't have grand openings? And notice that many businesses, they have re-grand openings, they have a fall sale, they have a winter sale, they have Black Friday, they have all these special events. So how are you in a business and you don't have any of these special events? You want to constantly let people know that you are in business and you want to have grand openings. One of the biggest traps is just trying to invite people through Facebook. Doesn't work that way. All right, we're going to go into inviting in a moment, but I just felt the need to say that. But what this does is it introduces your warm market to your business, okay? And you also want to stress this for your new partners. When you get a new partner enrolled, please set them up for success. Let them know. Don't say, when would you like to have your grand opening? Say, when is your grand opening? Suggest a couple of days and make sure that they have one in their first 5 to 7 days in business. Now, this one's actually a typo. This is actually a $1,000 bonus, okay? And I'm gonna have to save this so we can change it. Give me one moment, guys. The camera's about to go back to me, I believe. All right, we're gonna change this and let me bring the camera back to what we're doing here. One moment. All right, so this is the fastest way to achieve your $1,000 bonus, your 200 up front, and your $100 per month for the rest of the 8 months. It's also, again, your opportunity to get business partners and customers into the business all in one swoop. It creates your success story. So you want to make sure that when your new partner gets in, that they have their grand opening. Make sure not only that do they have their first grand opening set up in their first 5 to 7 days, but that the rest are set up for the remainder of the month. You want to make sure they have at least 4 set up once per week. If they're really aggressive, have them do 2, 3, 4 per week because this really helps. Okay? Every new IMR, you want them to have a PBR, and then this creates momentum. So if you're wondering how it is that some people are achieving executive and national director in 30 and 60 days, it's because when they get in, they have grand openings. When those new people get in, they have their own grand openings. And when those people get in, they have their own. It helps really catapult this business very, very quickly for you. Okay? When? Within 10 days. I say push yourself. Within the first 5 to 7 days of the new IMR start date, they need to have a grand opening. What if it isn't perfect? Well, guess what? There's 30 days in a month. I don't know if you guys can see this calendar. There's 30 days in a month. All right? What if they had their first one on the 17th, which is a Thursday? Maybe their next one on the 22nd, which is a Tuesday. Their next one maybe on the 2nd, which is a Saturday, right after New Year's. And then maybe their third on a Wednesday. I mean, look, that first one could just be a practice PBR. But you want to make sure that they have their first grand opening in their first 5 to 7 days. And for all of you guys who are in the deal, okay, start doing your grand openings, start doing your PBRs. It's really going to help your business, okay? So now, where is the grand opening going to be? Well, preferably 9 out of 10 times the most successful grand openings are in the new IMR's home. You want to make sure that it's in the new IMR's home. It really sets them up for success. Why is it so important to have it in the new IMR's home? I'm going to list the reasons right here, okay? Hold on. The reasons why you want to have it in the new IMR's homes is duplicatable. Duplication. I'll just put duplication. When people see that it's done in their new home, well, guess what? Everybody has a place where they live. So guess what? They could do it where they live. All right. So it's duplication. Secondly, what does it do? Well, people are more comfortable in a home environment. Another reason. Let's see. Why else have it in a new IMR's home? Well, let's see. It's a controlled environment. I'll give you an example. If it's in any other place, for instance, it's not really controlled. You can't really control what's going on in someone else's home, although this is a second best thing. You really can't control an office or a hotel or a coffee shop or restaurant. There's background noise, all kinds of stuff. But people are more comfortable, it's duplicatable, people are more likely to show up as a result of these as well. Second best thing is the sponsor's home. Third, fourth, and fifth, these are distant. It's better than not having one at all, but typically these environments aren't that great because they lack duplication. You know, just because you have it in a hotel or an office or a coffee shop, people are much less likely to do it because they're like, I can't really do that. You know, if you have it at like one of these places, maybe they can do it, but people might feel pressured to buy something if they're a little low on finances. You don't really want to just push this idea. It's a little louder. It's not controlled. It's not really as comfortable. People are more comfortable in the new IMR's home. Okay. So now, how do you invite? Here's how you invite. Notice what I did? I was excited. Be excited when you invite, okay? So you can use a script and you could use a 2-minute peak call. Again, that 2-minute peak call is what? 585 420 4582, okay? Use the script and invite. You say, look, I'm having a brand new, or I just launched a brand new business. I'm having a grand opening for my business. But look, it would mean the world if you were there. You need to be there. Don't try to sell them on the business. Don't do any of that. Now, if they ask for more information, you can give them the peak call. But you need to just use emotion. Say, look, I just got started in a business. It would just mean the world to me if you came. It's important. My wife and I are doing this. All right, I was thinking of you two, Asia and Patrick, or I'm sorry, Alexis and Patrick. I'm thinking of you two. You guys could go to all your friends and family in Vegas. All right, it would mean the world if you came. Or how about Kendrick Newman in the DMV? Friends and family say, hey, look, you know, I'm out here in Northern Virginia doing my thing, but listen, I really appreciate your assistance. Or how about to my cousins in Poughkeepsie? Say to all your friends and family, look, you know, we're relaunching our business. Put an announcement in church. All right. Put an announcement out there for all your friends and family, your former classmates, coworkers that you're close enough with, everybody that you can think of, and everybody else that I did not mention. Tell your friends and family how important it is for them to just show their support and just come. Okay. And don't prejudge, invite everyone. And when you invite them and once they commit, please ask them to bring one other person. Say, look, and you can even tell them if they're very close to you, say, look, I don't want it to be an empty house. Could you just please invite everybody that you know? And I'm telling you, what can help is do a professional, and it doesn't have to be super professional, but you could do a little invitation. All right. You can go, for instance, I did this. I went to the dollar store. You can, for $1, you can buy like 10 simple invitations and they're nice for $1. Hello, $1. Okay. You can go to Target if you want to step it up. If you have $2, you could buy like 25 invitations. Buy invitations and give them out to people. Say, hey, look, it's very important to me. I'm having a relaunch of my business and would love it if you can come. What is it about? Give them the 2-minute peak call number, but let them know it's so important and ask and tell them, look, you need to be there. Okay. And provide clear directions and a time. And here's what's very, very important. Just don't tell people, hey, can you come over? When can you come? Don't do that. Don't. That is a big trap that a lot of people fall into when they get started because you're not confident yet. You have to be confident. You need to set up a date and time that works for you. Understand that most of the people you invite will not come. That's why you have to invite a lot of people. But set up a time and date that works for you. I don't care if it's Tuesday at noon. I don't care if it's Friday at 6. I don't care if it's Saturday at 4 p.m. Whatever time and date, set it up for yourself. Make it concrete. Stick to it. Don't break it. And I don't care if everybody starts telling you, oh, I can't make it. I can't make it. When's the next one? Just say, look, I'll tell you when the next one is. But don't make your invite or don't make your date and time dependent on everybody because you're going to have more than one of these. Okay. So just provide clear directions and a time and date. Okay. So here's your expectation. Send out 30 to 40 invitations. I say if you're serious, make it 50 to 60. I say if you're super serious, make it 100. I'm serious, guys. You have to invite, and I don't mean, again, I do not mean, and let me just put this down. I do not mean just, don't just use Facebook or Twitter or any of these other things, because if you just invite someone through like a little Facebook invite without any voice to voice communication, they're not going to show up, guys. I'll give you an example. Again, I'm telling stories. Look, an example. We did a grand opening for a gentleman a couple of years ago. For his grand opening, he said, look, everybody knows me. I got this. Expect a lot of people. And I wasn't able to personally make it, but I remember one of our executives was in attendance as well. So he was ready to do this gentleman's grand opening. He was like, look, I invited over 150 people. And one of the things we were like, well, where's your list? And we didn't get his list. And that gets down to the next bullet point. We didn't confirm his list. So, but he was like, don't worry, my people are going to show up. He invited 100 people, but guess what? One person showed up, and that person was 20 minutes late. And that person ended up leaving because he said, I can't stay. So he pretty much had 0 guests. We found out, we asked him, well, what did you do? How did you invite them? And how can we get a list? He's like, oh, well, I couldn't give you a list. We said, why not? He was like, well, because these are my Facebook friends. I invited 150 of them. We said, so wait a minute, you didn't call them? He said, no. He was like, I knew him. And I'm just surprised they didn't show up. And so we had to double back and make sure he understood that when you invite someone, it should be either in person or by voice over the phone. You have to invite people the right way. You can't treat this thing like a hobby and expect to make $1 million. You can make great money with this. But you got to treat it like it can make you great money. You got to treat it that way. So that being said, look, when you invite people, use your voice, okay? And then also, with your IMR on the call, and this is for all of our executives on the line, if you sponsor someone in the business, help them confirm their guests a day before the PBR and expect 60% of the confirmed people to actually come. You got to take your time to do this because it's really going to ensure success, okay? And know who the Reds are before you arrive, okay? So when you set up for a private business reception, it's very simple. Put out fewer seats than you think you'll need. It's okay to have people standing up. Set up a flip chart. I think that's a little bit old. You don't have to necessarily have a flip chart, but cool the room for comfort, okay? Make sure the room is cool. Set up a separate room if possible, or a separate area for soda and finger foods. Do not cook. Don't cook chicken. Don't have anything that smells too good, because I'm telling you, people, they're not going to concentrate on the information. They're just going to want to eat. Okay? Also start on time. Don't be waiting for people to show up. What you want to do is where the entrance is or where the door is for the PBR, have that away from the presentation so you're not distracting the people who are actually in attendance. Okay? So keep the area where the door is, have some extra seats there, and make sure no one sits by the door because you don't want them distracted by the latecomers. But you do want to start on time and keep the meeting under an hour for best results. And last but not least, no alcohol, okay? No alcohol at the private business reception. And I'll also say no cooked food. The only thing that you want people to smell is your Montevita, okay? Have Montevita there, okay? Now, here are your PBR tools. The 5 Links Business presentation slides. What some people do is they'll connect their computer to their TV if you have that ability. If you don't, there's a DVD. Again, you could get with me after this presentation. We'll work it out, and I'll shoot you out a DVD. You also have magazines such as the Success from Home and Envision magazines. Again, how do you get a magazine? Simple, for the 3rd time. Go to www.5linksstore.com. Invest in your business. Okay? Also, have applications. Be prepared to sign people up. There's so many instances where we've had a private business reception. People are ready to get started, and you don't start them because you're scared. You don't know how to move them to the next step. Guys, move them to the next step. Okay. Have IMR applications. Fill them, have them fill it out, put in their credit card info. Even if they're not ready to get started tonight, have them put in their credit card info anyway, and put a note at the top that says process on, and put whatever date they're ready to get started at, and let them know that on that date you will be submitting their application. Okay. But get them to put it down on paper. There's something that when something about putting things down on paper, excuse me, people feel more committed to that effort. So you definitely want to do that. Also, this stands for letter of authorization, LOAs. This is great for instance, if you want someone to become a customer, instead of LOAs, let's just put sign them up as customers. So for people who don't want to get in right away, you can have them just become a customer. Have them try out some of the services or products, and make sure you have your marketing materials. Again, at what site? www.5linkstore.com. Okay, 5linkstore.com. And then for the presentation, like we mentioned at the very beginning, new IMR shares his or her story. They share why they got started and their excitement. Woo! I'm so excited I got started in this business. I'm so happy that Joe introduced me. Oh, thank you so much. And guys, look, just make sure you're prepared for the information. Make sure you turn off your cell phones, pull them out, put them on vibrate. Secondly, there's my voice of the new IMR, right? I'm excited. Secondly, remind people to use the bathroom now, and then the whole questions to the end, okay? But make sure that that new IMR shares their story and then introduces and edifies the speaker. Well, what if there's no speaker there? Once again, if there's no speaker there, that new IMR introduces the DVD. They say, well, you know what? Thank you so much for coming out. I can't explain it, but all the information's on this DVD, and I'm going to put it in the DVD player and push play right now. All right. So the IMR introduces the guest speaker or the DVD. And where do they get the DVD? 5linkstore.com or ask your upline. Okay. That's how you do it. Okay. So what you could do is, if it's a light crowd, you can have a round circle and all the guests can kind of introduce themselves and what they do for a living. Before you get started, it can kind of warm up the room. If you have a small crowd, that's always a good thing. And then again, either the speaker or DVD delivers the presentation. After the presentation, there's always three types of people. First type of person doesn't see the opportunity for themselves. That's okay. Put a smiley face. It's okay. Turn them into a customer. Woo! Right? That can help your income. You don't want everybody to get started. How are you going to get customers, right? So if they don't get started, turn them into a customer. Type number two, they have questions. So type number two, if they have questions, answer maybe three of their questions, but refer them to your personal website. Now, here is the key. If they have questions, make sure after the presentation, have them or you want to answer their questions individually and not really in a group setting, because you can have one person who's negative and they can spoil the whole room. So if possible, have a way and figure out how after the presentation you can individually answer people's questions, okay? And not necessarily in front of the whole group. And number three, you have people who see the opportunity. What does this say? Sign them up immediately. If you have someone who's ready to get started, don't look left, don't look right, don't try to oversell. Like, look, if someone's ready, get them signed up. And if you need help, call your upline immediately if help is needed. There's so many instances. Again, here's another story I could think of. Particularly, there was a guy who we were going to get started in our business. This is about 3 years ago, it was a while ago. But I remember this so clearly. And he went to a private business reception. He was about to get started. I was there and I was a little bit nervous because I hadn't signed up that many people at that time. And I remember he was ready to go. He was like, yeah, I'm ready to get started. And we were like, okay. And, you know, I had the application, but we didn't really make him fill it out. We're like, okay, great. And then we just kind of kept it moving. And then he had to go. He was like, well, I got to go, but I'm definitely signing up. We were like, okay, great. We didn't push it at all. Well, what happened? The next day we follow up and we were like, hey, so let's get you started. And he was like, I'll call you back later on tonight. So we were like, okay, great, no problem. We called him back, no answer. The next day we called him back, no answer. We left a message. Later that week, we called him and he backed out. He said, oh, well, I had an issue with my car. I had to spend the money to get my brakes fixed. And guess what? He never got started in 5links. And that will happen, guys. If you don't get people started immediately, if you don't strike while the iron is hot, chances are they'll never get in. So there's just a quick lesson that you want to sign people up immediately, okay? So after the presentation, take a 2-minute break. This is when you answer questions, and this is when you SWAT the room. This is if you have other business partners there, you call these your special winning attitude team, but they'll basically help answer people's questions, all right? And that's what it explains here. They'll ask people, hey, do you see an opportunity for yourself? Yes or no? If the answer is no, move them to the room with the food or out. Or if yes, promote the quick start and get them started. All right. Now, as we close this thing off, there's always 3 results. You have new business partners, new customers, or referrals. That's it. New business partners, new customers, or referrals. All right. And if you want to get fancy, of course, you always want to have like a sign-in sheet, and you want to follow up with everybody who came to your private business reception. Okay. But you're going to have new partners, new customers, or referrals. And then also always remember that create massive momentum. And when you do that, it becomes simple and duplicatable. And you can actually build. You can actually build a big organization. So hopefully, guys, that made a lot of sense. And hopefully this really helps you guys. So what I'm going to actually do now, we're going to open this thing up. And I want to actually entertain any questions. So if you're on our conference line, press *6. If you have questions, or if you have a question and you're attending the live webinar, just definitely type your question into our team group me, and I'll answer it right now. So I'll give everybody about a minute while the video catches up to go ahead and ask the questions. But if you're on our conference line, press *6 for any question or comment that you have. And I highly recommend and suggest just saying hello. Anybody on our conference line listening in, if you could press *6, say hello. And if you have a question or comment, please press *6 and say hello. Who do we have? Say hello. Don't be shy, guys. I've been here busting my chops for the last 2 hours. Someone say hello. *6. All right. Well, we have a group me comment from Linda. Thank you so much, Linda. Linda says, such an amazing job, funny and entertaining and very informative. Thank you. Very welcome. Very welcome. So guys, look, we're not going to continue to beat a dead horse, but if you happen to be watching or if you are listening, press *6. This is the last time. Going once, going twice, and sold. So that being said, ladies and gents, I want to thank everybody for tuning into this particular training. Hopefully, I believe it was recorded, so you can actually send out the same link to go ahead and check out the recording. Send it to some of your partners who weren't on live. But this particular webinar was recorded. So if you definitely want to check it out at a later time, you can definitely go to the same link, which is tinyurl.com/epic DEC13, or you could check out the playback. Let me get the playback phone number for you. The playback phone number is at 605-562-3682. 3149 with the same PIN code. And the PIN code is 335889#. I'm also going to send that out in a text message. So guys, the best way, and I know you guys appreciate it. I appreciate you guys as well. The best thing to do, and like what Tupac says, brand new Diamond Senior Vice President, Tupac always says, don't thank me right here. Thank me from the stage. Use this information to build your income. One of the best things, if we could have like an action plan right now, what I would love for everybody to do, if you're watching or listening to me right now, create a brand new list today, right now. Order your smart builder right now. If you don't have the smart builder, get it. Here's what I'm going to do right now, guys. Give me one moment. I'm going to actually show you guys my smart builder. Give me one sec. As you guys can tell, I did this all from the bed. This is a home-based business. Hold on one second, guys. Everybody tuned into the webinar, I'm going to show you the smart builder. What you want to do, ladies and gents, is you want to utilize this thing. This smart builder is excellent. Mine has definitely got its use. My smart builder has been in Boston. It's been in Vegas. Oh, I'm sorry for those of you guys on the line. It's been in Boston. It's been in Vegas. And it's back here in California. And it's almost empty now because I'm almost done giving out all my samples. And I just got another shipment. And when they ship it to you, it's like a refill. So you could put all of your fuel in here. You have your Montevita here. You have your brew cups here. And then you have your lean and all that stuff in here. So it's great, guys. It's a great way for you to sample your business. So great action plan. Definitely get your samples into the hands of people. Get them to people. Try them out and actually sample your products and services with people. So all that being said, God bless. This broadcast is now officially over. Have a wonderful day and stay plugged in, guys. Take care. This is Ricardo Suber signing out.